And today is another Czech immigration live stream open Q&As. So if you have any questions related to immigration to the Czech Republic, living here as a foreigner, as an expat, getting a trade license, setting up a business, getting health insurance, finding accommodation, anything, uh, from these topics, let's say, please ask your questions in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my abilities and knowledge and experience and everything around that. Yeah, it's usually slow. Now there are already 2 people, so welcome. Thank you for joining. And it's usually a bit slow in the beginning, but around the second minute, usually people start joining, start asking questions, so it becomes way more interesting. Until then, I can dance for you. Dance for you, dance for you, dance for you. Oh. Yes, and then that made the 2 who already joined leave again. But now, guys, this is again immigration open Q&As live stream. So if you have any questions, type them into the chat and I'll be happy to start answering them. And I'll be here for the next 20 minutes or so. So use the time. Isaac Yusuf. Hi, Jan. Can I do any form of internships, etc., while on long-term family reunification visa? Potentially, yes, but it cannot be paid. So if it's an unpaid internship, that should be fine. But if you want to get paid for that, you would need to get a trade license or switch to something else. But generally, unpaid internships should be fine. Safe Haven, dobrý den. Hey, thank you very much for joining again. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you all here, guys. So please, if you have any questions related to living in the Czech Republic, moving here, any types of visas and everything, feel free to type them into the chat. Psycho Shami, hello Jan, will there be any issue if I have submitted 50 or 100 euro less in my bank balance for student visa? Yes, it will make a big difference because you need to have at least the minimum amount given by the law. So if you don't have that money, even if it's 1 crown less, for a student visa, we generally say to have 120,000 crowns. It's a bit less, but we say 120 just to be sure. So if you have 119,999, that's not 120, so your visa will be denied. So yes, if you have 50 or 100 euros less than you should have, that's not good. If you mean that you have like 50 or 100 euros less than you had before, that's okay if it's still above the minimum requirement. Okay, now the questions are popping up. That's good. Thank you, guys. So, historical facts. Okay. Hello, sir. Hope you are in good health. Yeah, strong as ever. Sir, as you are aware of the current visa appointment situation in Pakistan, please give me important tip or strategy through which I can get visa appointment. It kind of depends on what you're trying to apply for, because if you're trying to apply for an employee card, then you cannot get an appointment at all. So there is no important tip I could give you because there are no available appointments. If you're applying for something else, I might potentially give some advice, but it's better to go to a video where I talk specifically about this topic, which I did a couple months ago. So if you just go to my channel and search for appointment or how to schedule appointment, I've done a video about that specifically. Professor something, I cannot read that. Hi Jan, I'm going to appeal against my rejected. So my question is, what date count for the appeal? When I post or when they receive? That's a good question. For the appeal, I would, to be on the safe side, I would count with when they receive, but for most of the things, it's when you send it. So honestly, I'm not 100% sure about appeals, but potentially if someone is preparing the appeal for you, because you should not write your appeal on your own, because it must be in Czech, it must have some structure, all that. They could also send it via data box, which is there instantly. It's kind of like an email-ish. So if they send it via data box, it will be there immediately. Isaac Yusuf, can I apply for a job while on the family reunification long-term visa? You can apply for a job, but you cannot work. under the visa, you can either get a trade license and work as a freelancer, B, switch to a long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose of stay if you meet the conditions and your spouse meets the conditions, or you can switch to an employee card. So if you find a job and the employer is willing to switch you to an employee card to support you in that, you can do that. But under the long-term visa, unless you are an American, Canadian, these like nine nationalities that got the free access to the Czech labor market, you cannot work under a long-term visa, the family reunification. Mohammed Ahmad Ezet. Hello, hope you're having a good day. Wonderful day. Do you know how long does it take to process a highly qualified employee card after submitting the application? They say it should be fast. I would say 45 days, give or take. But depends on where you applied, when you applied, depends on the season, at the embassy you applied, all that. But I would say 30 to 45 days is something you should expect. Andrea, do you do virtual work while doing a family reunification visa? Can you do virtual work? It depends if you're also getting paid virtually for that, I think. Now, like if you mean like work online, doesn't change anything really. Like if you're getting paid for your work, you're employed anyway. So or you're self-employed anyway. So kind of depends. If you mean that you will be working for a US company and they don't need any trade license, or they will have just some local American contract with you, probably no one's gonna find out, so there is not gonna be a problem. But if it's a Czech company, they need to pay you based on something. So you either need to be employed or self-employed. Jayesh Satvara Hayan, I want to join my partner as dependent who is in Czech. How much funding is required to show and when can I apply? Well, it depends on if you mean a partner, like in you're just dating, you're not married, or if you mean spouse, as in you are legally married. And then it also depends on where are you from and where is your partner / spouse from, if they're EU citizens or not. Andrea, thank you for doing these Q&As. My pleasure, my pleasure. I'm happy it's helpful, and I'm happy when you ask questions, so I just don't sit here and don't dance for you without answering anything. So thank you as well for being active and asking questions. Rupam Singh, sir, I'm applying for doctoral study but not getting the appointment. I'm from India. What is the time to apply? You need to follow the instructions given by the embassy, but please keep in mind that all the appointments in India are gone within half a second. Half a second means like 0.2 second, not a minute, not an hour, 0.2 second. So if you send the email just like a split second later, you might not get an appointment. It also depends on the season, how busy the embassy is. Also depends on if you followed exactly the procedure, meaning attached all the attachments, wrote only what they require in the subject field, all that. So definitely follow the instructions at the page of the embassy. Historical facts, I'm applying for a student visa, bachelor's. Please make a new video in which cover visa interview questions and answers with tips and tricks for applying for student visa, Brno, Prague. I've done a video about that, and it doesn't really change much the type of questions or the reasons behind the question. So just go to my channel, search for student visa questions or something like that. You'll find it, and the questions there and the approach of the ministry is still the same. Isaac Yusuf, most employers usually ask if I'm eligible to work. What is ideal to say? Because the essence of applying is to get a contract to use it and apply for an employee card. Well, it kind of depends on the employer, because some employers will just not want you, not hire you, not even consider you if you cannot work at the moment. They will just not kind of sponsor the employee card for you. So I would probably go the route that you try to impress them with your CV or like whatever you can do. I don't know what's the hiring procedure in the companies where you're trying to get, and then see If they like you a lot, they might help you with the employee card process. Or the other approach would be telling them in the beginning, hey, I'm here under family reunification. I need to switch to the employee card. Can you do that if you like me? And you will see. So both approaches might have different advantages, disadvantages. So I will try one of these. But it essentially depends on the employer if they want to help you or not. Which city is best for students for both work and study opportunities, Prague or Brno? I live in Prague, our company is in Prague, so obviously it's Prague. But now, Brno, I mean, in Prague, there are a couple big universities. So there is the Czech Technical University, Charles University, there is chemistry, the Chemistry and Technology University, there is the Agricultural University. So there are plenty of universities you can choose from, plenty of different programs. In Brno, there might be more as well, but definitely not that big variety of programs. So from this perspective, Brno for Prague for sure. Work opportunities, I would say it depends on what you do or what you want to do, what kind of work you're looking for. Because in Brno there are plenty of job support centers or job supports, like generally support, customer support centers, and IT companies. So if you're in these two fields, might be good. But in Prague, generally Prague is 3 times bigger than Brno, so 3 times more opportunities. So definitely I would say Prague in general, but it also depends on other things. Sam Uisal, Hayan, love the streams. Thanks for all the info. My question about staying in another EU country with a Czech permanent residency, would one need to have insurance and official address in Czech Republic in that case? Well, kind of depends. Technically, no. Of course, if you move to some other country, you don't really need to, you will not have any residence address in here. But it kind of depends, because if you, for example, own your own place here, or if you submitted unlimited contract to the ministry, they will not even find out you're not here anymore, like from this perspective. So does not really matter that much. As for health insurance, if you don't want to pay health insurance, or you don't want to have it, then you should go to the health insurance company you're with, like VZP, OZP, and report that you will be moving and that you want them to like pause your, not subscription, but you know what I mean, like the policy, because you are moving to another country. Because if you don't report it and you just stop paying, for example, then when you come back 3 years later, you might have a pretty big debt there, including all the late payment fees, all that. So definitely sort the health insurance, I would say, is in practical life, in real life, more important to sort out before you leave. I'm from India and my wife is there. Okay, so if you're from India, your wife is from India, and you're married, then you can apply either for a long-term visa, family reunification, or a long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose of stay. Which one is better? Or, I mean, the residence permit is better from the perspective that it can be given to you for up to 3 years for blue card family members or 2 years for any other. But the minimum is always at least a year. Also allows you to work. So from this perspective, it's definitely better. But on the other hand, you need to meet some requirements. For example, how long your wife has been here. There is a specific amount of months she needs to be here. And there also she must make enough money on monthly basis to be able for you to apply for the residence permit. So it kind of depends on what's your situation. If you want to discuss more, get in touch. We'll be happy to set up a consultation and we can go through the options and see what's best for you. Isaac, thank you for answering questions, brief and straight to the point today. That accommodates for me for more questions to be asked and answered in the short time. Yeah, that's your way of saying that I usually talk too much in my live streams. Okay, thank you very much. Napoleon, Eli Banzuela, Now that I have my PR and I want to be self-employed and become a digital nomad, what do I need to do regarding health and social insurance? Also for paying income tax. Well, if you want to freelance in the Czech Republic, if you want to become self-employed, you need to get a trade license. And once you get a trade license, you need to contribute to 3 authorities: Social Security, Healthcare, Income Tax. Social Security and Healthcare are paid on monthly basis, in total around 7,000 crowns, might be increased a bit from next year as well. And income tax is paid once a year, officially 15% from your net income, but there are usually a lot of deductions you can use, so usually don't end up paying 15%, that may be like 2% or something, but it depends also on your income. But these are the 3 things you need to contribute to. Isaac Yusuf, what do you mean by sponsor the employee card? Yusuf, what if I wanna pay for the process myself? Now that's not about the payment, it's that for the employee card, they need to take a couple steps. Like for example, they need to advertise the position through the labor office to get the vacancy number for you. They need to give you the employment contract or contract about future contract. Then once you get like approved, you need to go through the biometrics again, and then they need to report you to the labor office that you started working. So there is some amount of work they need to do. And also they need to wait for you generally for 4 to 6 months. It depends, of course, if you're already here, you have all the documents ready, might be 2 to 4 months. But generally 4 to 6 months is like the turnaround time from when you start working on your employee card until you have the employee card. So some employers also prefer not waiting 4 months for someone to join and rather hire someone else who can start right away. So this is what I mean by sponsoring, that not that they pay it for you, the services, but that they need to take some steps which they don't have to if you have free access to the labor market, for example. Mohammed, I applied for highly qualified employee card as an IT engineer 3 weeks ago from Egypt, and my employment starting date should be 4th of December. Do you think I can receive the visa before that? What's now? It's 11 November. Potentially. The thing is that the embassy or embassies do not make decisions. So when you submitted the application to the embassy, nothing is happening with the application yet. They need to physically take the documents, ship them to the Czech Republic, and then the ministry gets them, and then someone starts working on the documents. And there can be sometimes pretty long delay, like 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on the embassy, how often they send the documents, where exactly all that. So potentially, yes, you can have it approved, but I would not really count with that too much, because also after that you will need to buy insurance, you need to go to the embassy to pick up the visa, then you need to fly to the Czech Republic, then you need to go to the Ministry of the Interior to get registered, and then you need to go for your biometrics, and only then you can start working. So there is, even if you are approved tomorrow, if you are approved like in a week or 10 days, it's still fine. If you get approved like 2-3 weeks later, there might not even be enough time to make that happen before the 4th of December. When renewing an employee card, is it possible to apply to switch for a blue card instead? Technically, yes, but you will not be just switching. You will be submitting completely new application, because you need to have all the documents again, proof of accommodation, new employment contract, new vacancy number, all that. So it's not like just instead of employee card, I want a blue card. Now you are basically starting the process completely again, completely submitting new application. So it's possible, but that's not as simple as you make it sound. Satya G3, chci se tě zeptat. Ptej se, od toho jsem tady. Jsem z Indie. Dobrý, já jsem z Čech. Jaká je otázka? Isaac, haha, did not mean to say you talk too much. Sorry, I don't get offended easily. That it sounded like that. Today you're answering more to the point, so there is more time for people to ask questions. So you talk too much, Jan. Shut up. Anyway, Thank you for answering. We'll surely get in touch for consulting shortly. Happy to help. From the question of Sam UCL, could we use a foreign EU address as a change of address in Czech when moving to another country for a PR holder? Because we should inform you. Makes no sense because they will not. For the MOI, you need to have some address in the Czech Republic. So using an address abroad will not help in any way. Do I still need to apply for a trade license even if I'm PR holder? Yes, why not? Even Czech citizens must have a trade license if they want to freelance. So kind of depends on the job. Like, I mean, artists, for example, singers, they technically don't need the trade license because there are like free trades. So in that case, no, but even Czech citizens must have a trade license if they want to be self-employed. So PR doesn't change anything on that. The only thing that changes with PR is that you don't need a criminal report from the country of origin. Saad Akmal, what is the process of obtaining a Czech passport when you come as a bachelor student? How many years does it take to get a passport? General rules, either 10 years of total stay in the Czech Republic, plus you must have a PR at the moment when you're applying, or you must have the PR for 5 years. So it's either 5 years of PR. So if you're a student, all your years count as half, so you would get the PR later, or 10 years in total, but you still need to have a PR. You can get it today and apply tomorrow, but you must be after 10 years and you must have a PR. So guys, it's been more than 22 minutes. And I will need to leave soon. So the last question I will answer is KNYXN. Please, bro. That's not a question, but that's the last one I will do, and then I'm finishing the live stream. So going back to Jose Roberto. Buenos días, Jose. ¿Cómo estás? I'm from Dominican Republic, and then you disappeared. Studying with a long-term visa. Come on. It still moves the questions. I'm from Dominican Republic, studying with a long-term visa, and I have a lot of free hours. Can I get a part-time job with the visa? Well, I would need to see what your visa says exactly, but if your program is accredited and you have you are a full-time student, like a daily student, not a distant student that you would go to the school only like on weekends or something, then you technically should have free access to the labor market. But I would need to see your visa and the proof of studies. Only then I can completely confirm. But generally, as a student, you can work even full-time as long as you manage to still like keep up with your school duties. So if there is an attendance like percentage you need to have, you must do that. If you need to pass exams, get some amount of credits, you need to do that. Otherwise, your student visa will be cancelled at some point. Satya G. Troy, vyžaduje VUT v Brně pro přijetí do bakalářského studia IELTS nebo jakýkoliv doklad o znalosti anglického jazyka? Tak to se musíte asi zeptat ideálně jich, jestli vyžadujou, to já nevím. Ale obecně, pokud byste chtěl žádat přes studentský režim, studentský MOL, tak tam požadavky na angličtinu jsou, ale jestli to vyžaduje vyloženě VUT v Brně, to popravdě nevím. To je v gesci každé školy, takže to si musíte škola rozhodnout sama a vy se pak musíte zeptat té školy. Sen Uisal Eli, yes, that was my question. Jan, MOI page says a PR holder can stay in another country up to 6 years without losing the PR. Do I need to do something for that or just sort out the insurance and move? Honestly, I don't think anyone we've worked with ever reported that to the ministry. But the thing is, they will find out at some point because they might not find out themselves. But if you were to prove something, then you'll have the health insurance stopped. you will not have an address for a couple of years probably, so they could find out. Generally, I've never seen anyone who like would get the PR cancelled when they were there like 1 day more than 6 years, but technically yes, so you should come back within the 6 years to keep the PR. Monica Kardam, 70 days complete visa application. Any suggestions regarding spouse visa? What do you mean? Like you like to get it approved soon, or what's the question there? 70 days is not even the official approval time given by the law, which is for a visa, it's 60 to 90 days. For a residence permit, family reunification, it's up to 270 days. So 9 months or whatever it is. So 70 days is still within the legal timeline. So there is not much you can do now. If they exceed the official timeline, there are some steps you can take. And I've done another video about that. So just go to my channel and search for taking too long or something. Why does my application takes forever? And you'll find the video. With having the PR, can I also apply for a blue card? No, not really. And I don't even know why would you apply for a blue card, because PR is the strongest residence status you can have. So no need for a blue card at that point. I'm losing my voice, guys. So I'm just the last 3 questions here, and then I'm finishing the live stream. Does having long-term family reunification residence permit grant one free access to the labor market? Generally, yes. You kind of need to request the correct one, because there is a family residence permit and family reunification residence permit. Family does not give you the right to work. Family reunification does. So you need to request the correct one. But yes, then if you meet all the conditions of the duration of stay of your spouse and everything, you get free access to the labor market. Petr Czech. I have an employee card without freedom of access to the Czech labor market, and I changed my employer, but EMI did not approve the change. Is there a legal loophole that allows me to renew my residency? Well, you have 60 days to be unemployed, basically. So if you're still within the 60 days, you can resubmit the application. But if you're already past the 60 days, I think it's already too late to do something about that. Because the ministry will not cancel the employee card right away. They will not find out that you didn't find a new job or stuff like that. But they will not renew it for sure. They might potentially even find out and cancel it before it expires. So, yeah, if you're still within the 60 days, you can still do something about it. If you're past the 60 days, I'm afraid there is not much you can do. Monirul Islam, seasonal work permit, like months, say something please. Seasonal work permit, in my opinion, is the biggest scam of all, and plenty of companies use it to scam people anyway. So I would not even consider seasonal work visa at all. And as I mentioned, the last thing is KNYXN, please bro, but there was no question at all. So guys, thank you very much for joining the live stream or watching the recording, and I will see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.